He's sitting at his desk. He's sitting at his desk. Why is he sitting at his desk? He should get out of his desk. He's gonna fall over. Watch. He's gonna fall over. He's gonna die. He's gonna fall. There's gonna be massive maggots, brain.
He thinks he's funny.
They taunted him. You don't belong.
You don't belong here. Go back. You don't belong here.
The boy sat at his desk. They were here again. They spoke in his voice, yet wrong. Stolen, maybe, he thought. His eyes grew hazy as his head spun. Kill yourself. He beckoned. The boy fell out of his chair. The world was nothing but a dizzy mess. They were back, and as they proclaimed, "We are here to stay." He got up and stumbled out of his room. The cacophony of voices came like waves in a tyrannic ocean. The boy crashed down the stairs to the kitchen. "You see the knife? Take it! Slap it!" They chanted. Over and over they demanded, "Take the knife! Slash the knife! End it all!"
Take it!
The boy broke down and started crying. No one was home and no one would save him. In a desperate attempt to end the echo chamber, the boy took the knife that laid upon the microwave. He held the knife to his wrist and gingerly lowered it upon his dry, flaky skin. The cut was clean, yet shallow, barely tearing the skin. "Hardly screamed," they teased. It was akin to a scratch, and it didn't end the voices. Instead, his tormentor started a new chant. "He can't do it. He can't do it." Still the failure he always was. The knife clattered to the ground. He laid there. Hours upon hours they tormented him, and all he could do was curl up in a ball and hope they would leave. Hello, I'm Kamiano, and welcome to Tales from the Psych Ward, Episode 1, The Voices. This is a new series I want to start on this channel, one that features stories from my friend who spent part of his junior year in high school in a psychiatric mental hospital due to a psychotic mental disorder. We worked hard on this video, writing the script over Discord and drawing into all hours of the night. So I hope you enjoy. We're making this series for two reasons: to educate people on what it's like to have a psychotic disorder, and to help you understand one thing. Having a psychotic disorder doesn't mean this is the end. Life goes on. Different, but sometimes much more simpler than you would have initially realized. To quote the book, Me, Myself, and Them by Kurt Snyder, quote, "You may be having a difficult time dealing with the symptoms and expression of this disease. However, these difficult times may not be permanent." End quote. For simplicity's sake, I'll call my friend Euseibus. Euseibus wrote that short introduction story and hoped you would understand what it's like to live with what he calls the voices. What are they exactly? I'm not entirely too sure. I know they're a product of Euseibus' mental condition, but I'm not sure about the science behind it. That was off script. Anyway. While writing one night, Eusebius told me that he was a bit thankful for the disorder. Why, you ask? It's because hardly anything in the real world can genuinely scare him as much as the demons in his head. What bothers Eusebius a lot isn't exactly the symptoms themselves, but the opportunities the symptoms prevent him from taking, not to mention how difficult it is to make friends and keep positive. Our brains crave stimulation. And when you live the life of a student, that stimulation comes in the form of work, which isn't exactly the most fun form of stimulation. That's part of the reason why we had the idea to make this channel. It's a much more fun way of stimulating your brain, as in comparison to y equals mx plus b and literature. Eusebius doesn't only hear negative voices. Some are positive, some sound crazy. I guess that saying is a bit repetitive. Some voices, as described by Eusebius, tell him that he'll save the world. Some say he has magic powers that he'll one day solve all problems humanities have. Some tell him not to worry. And some tell him that everything will be okay. The most difficult part about having voices is the fact that they happen completely randomly and sometimes are continuous, or all day long. Most of the voices come in whispers, shouts, laughing, and sometimes even crying. Whereas the continuous nature of the voices is most difficult, the scariest part is the rare side effect of the disorder that he cleverly dubbed lost time. In Lost Time, Eusebius is drowned in voices and eventually loses all control of his body as the voices take over. What happens to Eusebius' body while he's in this state is nothing unusual, though. He'll go about his day normally, but losing control of your body is the scariest thing he's ever experienced. One of his friends described it as similar to blacking out, but instead of going unconscious, his body continues to move. Eusebius is scared that one day the voices will take over and something bad will happen. Maybe they'll go on a killing spree. Maybe they'll spill all his deepest secrets. Who knows? If you know of or are someone who's experiencing auditory hallucinations, I urge you to seek help, no matter how bleak and stigmatized they may seem at first. Being consistent and persistent is the key to seeking help. Finding the right treatment can mean the world for someone suffering from a psychotic disorder. I left some websites where you can receive a form of help in the description. And to anyone suffering right now, know that I am praying for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I encourage criticism and open discussion, so if you have anything to say, please say it. Thank you for watching. Mahalo nui loa.